we're standing here next to SMI's booth. SMI is a new product for national equipment dealers, NED, and we want to get a little bit of orientation on their new products and all the innovations that they have to offer to us. We represent the SMI product screen machine, as it's known, in South Carolina and in Georgia. And I've got a few people behind me that I'd like to introduce to you, and they're going to give us a run through of all the products that they have both on display here as well as the products that National Equipment Dealers has ordered and will be having in stock for both sales and for rentals. So behind me, I'll switch this camera around and introduce you to a few key individuals with SMI. So right here we've got Jeff Williams. Jeff is the Director of Sales for SMI for the Southeast region and has been a big part of us bringing this new line on for South Carolina and for Georgia. And then next to him is Mike Zemenska. Mike is probably the smartest man I have met and will meet all week, talking about all these crushing and screening products. Done a tremendous job explaining it to me, and I'm going to let him do the same for you. And then right next to him is Dave Stewart, and Dave handles all their marketing, Director of Marketing for the company, and will be a big part of us growing this product line throughout South Carolina and through Georgia. So with that, Mike, I'd like to turn it over to you and have you tell us a little bit about the product offerings that you have, both here on display. I know this is a compact setup, but then also what NED has started ordering from you and what we'll be having coming in, and the types of products that we'll be representing mostly in South Carolina and in Georgia. So I'm going to turn that over to you and let you have the show there, buddy.
All right, thank you, Corey. So right here at the show, we're displaying some SMI compact units. We've got a small 50 TJ jaw here, get about 50 tons an hour through it, and we're displaying a 90 TS three-way screener over there as well. So we decided to go with the compact units here. They're small, but they still pack a punch. Our mainline units, we kind of have displayed in our little models right here on the table that we're going to go over and talk about, and specifically the units that NED is starting this off with and going to hit the ground running. So we're probably going to start here with our main tried and true flagship model here, which is now a recirculating unit as well. So we're going to start with our 4043 TR here. So the 4043T is a model that we've been making for a number of years with great success. And about 5-6 years ago, we added a recirculating unit on the end of it to make two machines into one machine. So we'll start off first with how this crusher works and some details about it. So 4043, the nomenclature means a 40-inch diameter rotor, 43 inches long, and this is a horizontal shaft impactor rotor. So how it works is this is for soft to medium, so it does really well in concrete, asphalt, recycled material. It goes into this vibratory feeder right here. It'll go into the crushing chamber. You have an impact rotor with blow bars spinning at a very high rate of speed, about 725 RPM. It gets that rock and material in there, hits the blow bar, flings it up against our aprons that have some heavy-duty impact anvils on it, and just really explodes that rock and keeps moving it around the chamber until it gets down to that desired setting that you want, and it'll move through the crusher. This is great for recycle applications. It's got the magnet on there, so it'll take the steel, the rebar, all that kind of stuff out of it at the end of the day. It does a really good job, a high production unit. It's got a Caterpillar Tier 4 C9.3B engine in it. And how the material works is it'll just flow through this crushing chamber. It'll crush it down to the size that you want, go up the main conveyor here, and then you've got a screen box off the end of it, because you're never going to get a size product out of a crushing unit. If you want a spec product, you're going to need to screen it. So what we did is we attached this recirculating unit onto the front here. It's got a screen box on it, and your product that you want, your finished product, will come out this fines, and anything above that is going to come right up this recirculating belt and just keep going right through the crusher until it is down at that size you want. So you do not need the need for two machines, two engines to service, all that kind of stuff. It makes it very, very, very versatile and really compact for those small recycle yards or those rental houses, stuff like that. It's a mid-size, heavy-duty, simple crusher to operate, simple crusher to run, simple crusher to rent out, to work on, to service, all that kind of stuff. Very heavy-duty. And the nice thing about this recirculating unit on the end, you can either use it on the machine or you can drop it off in a matter of 15-20 minutes. If you're not using the recirculating unit on the machine either, you can use that hydraulic capacity to power conveyors or any auxiliary equipment you might need. So one rental opportunity, you may need the recirculating unit, and then on the next one, you can drop that off in your yard and ship it out to the next customer that may not need it. So it gives you just that much more versatility instead of having two screening plants like it kind of used to back in the day. So the other nice thing about this is our recirculating conveyor here. Jeff's going to swivel that out. If you don't want to recirculate that, the nice feature we have with this is you can put that conveyor out to a 90. Maybe you want that larger product for a different job or whatever you may be doing. You can get that off there so it doesn't need to recirculate. You can stockpile that larger material over there as well. So very versatile, very simple machine to operate, simple machine to service, simple machine to work on. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want this machine working, you want that uptime, you want that throughput, and that's what you're looking for. And this impact crusher is great, especially for recycle, all that type of stuff.
So thanks, Mike. So this particular product, we do have a couple of these, I think, on order with you, and we'll be bringing those into our markets in both Georgia and into South Carolina. What else have you got for us that we've got on order?
So we'll transition now from an impact crusher, which we talked about was soft to medium rock, very high rate of speed, that rotor spinning about 725 RPM. We're going to change and shift over to another crusher that you guys have on order, is a JXT jaw crusher. So while that's an impact crushing, because that rock is just getting flung and just impacting and exploding, now we're going to go, what if you have some medium, some hard rock that you need to crush? You're getting into granite, some bluestone, anything like that, you're going to want to look at a jaw crusher right here. So we've got our JXT jaw crusher here. It's a 26 by 45 jaw. Same engine compartment as the 4043T. So a lot of commonality between all of our units is what you'll realize. If you know how to work on one of them, chances are you know how to work on the other one as well. So it's got the C9.3B cat engine in it as well. And this is where you're looking at a compression crushing. So you've got one fixed to jaw and then one movable jaw. It's running about 285 RPM is how that moves, and it's just compressing that at that very hard rock. The nice thing about the JXT in our unit, it's great for rental applications. You can do anything that has any steel or rebar in it, because the JXT has tramp relief cylinders that if it hits that overage PSI where it knows it's an uncrushable in there, it automatically opens up, lets that uncrushable drops down. If it senses it again and it lets it drop down, go through the crusher, and then it automatically closes that crusher back up to the setting that you had. So there's no downtime. It lets that piece of steel go through there, doesn't damage anything, and then it goes right back to your closed side setting that you were wanting on that unit. So not any downtime, no need to shut down. Very, very heavy duty built unit. Again, has the overband magnet on it as well. So a lot of the same features as the 4043T. You'll notice, like I said, we commonalize from unit to unit. Both of our units also that we didn't talk about have a side discharge conveyor. So if you want to get that fine material out of that product before you run it through the crusher, lower down the side conveyor. It's standard on all the units. Your material would go through these grizzly bars or pre-screen option there and go out the side. So all of our units come standard with that on as well. The other patent, or the other nice feature, which is actually a patent on our impact crusher here that I didn't talk about, now that we're talking about uptime, is with our lid lift feature. So we've got multiple different patents on our machine, so we'll revert back to the impact crusher real quick to talk about a nice one of that. Here's your lid on your impact crusher. How we designed this machine is to be able to lift that lid up to 6 inches, so that if you get some concrete slabs that are bridging up and kind of not going into the crushing chamber like you wanted to, on other units, you'd have to shut down, you'd have to wait for that crusher to stop, you'd have to unsafely get up there or use an excavator bucket or straps or chains to get that material to bridge it's going to crusher. With our unit having that lid lift patent, the operator right up in the cab of his wheel loader, excavator, whatever it may be, can bump that button really quick, material goes right through the crusher, throughput, uptime, all that type of stuff. You don't have to shut down. You got 3 or 4 guys on the ground. You don't want to be shut down for 30 minutes, an hour. That's where the cost of your product just went way up if you don't have that patent on it. Another nice patent that we have on it is a smooth start in the screen box, which we'll talk a little bit more about when we get over our 5/16 screening plant. But all of our screening plants have a smooth start patent on it as well. So now that we've talked about jaw crushers, impact crushers, we've got the recirculating unit on the impact crusher here, but a lot of other times you're going to need a screening plant as well to do that additional screening. So we'll move to another product that NED is going to be very successful with. It's another one of our flagship models. It's our 5/16 screening plant. So 5/16 means 5 foot wide, 16 feet long of screening length and width on this. And again, a very, 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 very heavy-duty primary screener. So this can take that virgin material, it can take recycle. It's very versatile too. You can change out these screen panels to really any type of panel that you want. And the nice thing about this has got, again, a CAT name brand equipment. We put in a CAT 110 horsepower C4.4 is what's in this unit. And the nice thing about this, we'll talk really quick about our Smooth Start patent, because it's one of my favorite patents that we have. All it is basically you've got, we call it a smooth start, so you've got eccentric weights that extend and contract on either ends of the shaft. So when you start this up at the beginning of the day, which the competition cannot do, you can warm that screen box up, you can warm the bearings up, you can warm the hydraulic fluid up, you can let that screen box just start at idle, and then when you ramp that engine speed up, those weights extend, and that's what actually gives you the throw of that screen box. On the competition, it's either you're going and it's shaking or it's not. At the beginning of the day, you can smooth start it up, you can smooth shut it down. Like I said, let the oil warm up, let it cool down, let the bearings warm up nice and easy, and it also allows us to put a smaller horsepower engine in this unit. So we put 110 horsepower, some of the competition might have 130, 140 horsepower. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a better machine. Most of the horsepower you need on a screening plant is to start that screen up at the end of the day. So if you're able to run a 110 horsepower engine in it instead of a larger one, you're saving a heck of a lot of money on fuel savings, all that type of stuff, and that goes into your product cost at the end of the day. So that's a huge advantage for us on this, and it's just built like a tank. This thing is built rugged, durable, but again, like all the rest of ours, is simple. Our big market for this is going to be rental customers. You don't want a week-long learning curve for these guys. You want to go out, show them the ropes, get them going, and get them up and crushing or screening at the end of the day as fast as possible. So simple, easy to operate, easy to work on. All that type of stuff is what we're really going for. We want it to do what you want it to do, and we want it to be simple. We don't want a whole lot of learning curve or anything like that with it. So, nice, very nice, very durable screening plant we have here, a 5x16. Again, it's a lot of our nomenclature for our names it will tell you something about the screen. So if we move over to our 514, as you can guess, 5 foot width, 14 feet long on the screen deck here. This is a double deck screen, just like our 516 there. So you have a double deck, so you're going to get 2 finished products and an overs product, just like our 516. This one is a reverse screen, so this one is typically paired up right after a crusher. It's meant for secondary finishing screens. That's why you've got the grizzly component on here as well. You can load it just with a wheel loader or an excavator, just like that, but that's why you've got the grizzly component there to scalp off that material that's 5 inches or over, so it's not running through this plant as it's really not meant for that. It's meant for smaller products, stuff that's already went through a crusher. It's a high output finishing screen, so where the primary screen just goes up, comes down the screen and goes off. This one is also called a reverse screen. Sometimes it goes up the main conveyor, back down the screen box like that. You get your fines product off here, and your mids and your overs product off the side there. All these machines are wirelessly remote controlled too. A lot of times at the job site, you got 1 or 2 guys that are running the show. They're in the wheel loaders, they're in the excavators. Might have a guy or 2 on the ground, watching things. But that guy in the cab there needs to be able to run the show. All wireless remote control. Especially on the 516T, you can speed belts up, slow them down, and really fine-tune it as you're watching, and from a bird's eye view as you're watching that whole process, and get all the machines dialed in right from your loader cab with all that capability there. So this unit is a little smaller of an engine. This one's got a Yanmar 74 horsepower, so everything underneath that cat 110 horsepower, we're using a Yanmar 74 horsepower. No DEF fluid or anything that's needed in that. All of our units are now Tier 4 final, but underneath that you don't need DEF fluid in it. And a very versatile unit as well. Everything folds up. You can change out these screen panels for different type of materials, whether you're doing an aggregate or a topsoil, whatever it may be. That can all be adjusted, and panels can be easily changed out for whatever material you're doing. So that's another big one that the NED is getting. They're gonna have a lot of success with. We're gonna move on from screening plants and crushers and get into the last category, which the screen machine is very, very, very happy with. So this is actually a wheeled plant that we're going to show you right here, but a majority of our 612s we make are going to be on tracks. So we don't have the little model here for that, but this is a 6x12 trommel, so your barrel 6 foot in diameter, 12 feet long. So this trommel is going to be for more moisture, high content material, people running topsoil, people running compost, people running mulch, that type of stuff that might plug up a screening plant, or if you really, really want that good topsoil product, you're not going to get anything better than out of a trommel. So as this barrel turns around, your material feeds in there. You've got self-cleaning brushes, or your self-cleaning brushes that do self-cleaning on the screen as it's moving around. The nice difference that we have with our trommels is we've got heavy-duty steel paddles that are inside the barrel, and you can kind of see those in there. So we utilize those heavy-duty steel paddles to help carry that material up on that trommel barrel, let it drop down at the spot we want it to drop down, and it just really helps break up that material, whether you're dealing with some nuisance like clay clumps or something like that, or anything like that. It really helps break that stuff up. And if you're getting even deeper and you've got compost or something like that you need to break it up even more, or clay balls, stuff like that, we offer a hammer mill shredder option on these units as well. So we've got a lot of different options on this. We've got a Grizzly option that is similar to the 514. That's a hydraulically adjustable Grizzly. Again, on the remote control, right up in the loader cab, dump that stuff off. Your oversized product is going to come off the side, and then your fines finished product is going to come off the side stacker right here at the end of the day. This has the same engine as the 514, the Inmore 74 horsepower. So what we've done over the years is really commonalize as much as we can on these units. So again, if you've worked on our screening plant, 516, you know how to work on our 621 or 520 that have a lot of the similar components, similar engine compartments, similar parts to stock, all that type of stuff. So we wanted to commonalize as much as we can to make it easier for our dealers and our end users at the end of the day. So again, very, very easy to operate this machine. We use also a cable tension system on our screen panels as well, which is a nice quick change system. 2-4 hours, you can get these panels switched out. Like on this one, for example, you've got 2 panels on the top, 2 panels on the bottom, and it's just cables that are thrown over the screens and then tension them up that way. So let's say you have a different job or a different rental customer that you want to change those screens out. It's very, very easy to do. You can do it, in half a day with a couple guys. Just pop those screen panels off, put new ones on, throw the cables back over, tighten them up. So everything is quick and ready to go. We don't want to make it difficult or time consuming or labor intensive, because these are rental units, and one rental is definitely usually going to be different than the next rental. So we don't want to make it too much of a pain to switch screens around and stuff like that. So this is our middle size Trommel. We make a larger one and a smaller one, but again, great units, especially out on the East Coast where that moisture content is a little higher, in the Southeast as well. So yeah, great unit for higher moisture content, topsoil, mulch, compost, all that type of stuff. These units are very versatile too. They get into a lot of different applications. We learn about new ones pretty much every day. So that's kind of our main Trommel right there is our 6x12. Looking at Jeff over here, if there's anything I didn't miss.
That they're getting in stock right now. You can talk about the scalping screens if you will.
Gotcha. So yeah, so those are the main screening plants and crushers that NED is going to hit the ground running with. Eventually, we've got some other products over here that they're going to add to their inventory. Some of our longest running production units are these scalpers right here. They are built tough. They are built to last. So these are kind of dump-on units. So you have 2 decks on it, but it's not a true double deck. Your top deck here is just scalping that larger material off, and then your second deck is actually getting you your finished products. This is a 107T scalper. So the 107 means you've got 10 feet this way, 7 feet that way of screening width and length. The nice thing about these scalpers, you see a lot of these kind of units out there. We've been building them for a long time, but the patent that we have, like I said, we've got multiple patents on a lot of our machines that we put in place to maximize uptime for that customer, simplicity and usage. The nice patent we have about this, you've got all this screening area here. Where do you think your weakest point on that screen is going to be if it was one complete screen? Right in the middle there. So what we've done is we've made 2 identical screen boxes. You get the same screening area, but again, this support right here gives you support all the way through to the machine, eventually all the way down through the frame of the machine down to ground level. So again, these units are built to last. We don't have one complete screen so that you're worried about breaking in the middle or something like that. These things are built tough, and that's a nice patent we have there on the dual screen box design. We've also got some customers that do some really interesting things with these screens. They'll put different screens on one side, different screens on the other, because you can run them independently. If it's a smaller operation and they're one day they want to run this size product, next week they want to run the other size product, you don't need to be changing screens out every other week or something like that. You can just run this screen box, or you can just run that screen box. So that's a neat feature that some people utilize on those machines as well. So big market for the scalping screens. We've got another one that's in between these sizes, a 77 screen. So that's a 7 foot by 7 foot screen as well. Other products we offer, we talked about the 4043T crusher. We have a big brother to that, a 5256, which is a very high output crusher. 52-inch rotor, 56 inches in diameter, so very, very high output. That's a big brother to the 4043T. We do a horizontal 622 screen as well, which is a horizontal triple shaft shaker instead of like an inclined screen like you see here. And that's a very high output that's typically packaged with our 5256, that big crusher we just talked about. So those are our main units we focus on a lot. Screen Machine is a company that we do all of our engineering in-house. We're always innovating. We're always not only just updating our current machines, but we're always coming out with new machines as well. So chances are next time we do a video like this, we'll have a new one that we can talk about as well. So Screen Machine's been around for a while. We started in 1966. We are located right outside of Columbus, Ohio. That's our main point of operation. You come through our plant, it starts with one plate of steel, burn it off on our plasma tables, and eventually through the fabrication, through the bending, through the forming, and through the assembly process, we start with a plate of steel. It goes through our plant, and you get these machines at the end of the day, which is just an awesome process, especially to witness and utilize. So Screen Machine has really built our business on customer service. There's a lot of people in this industry that obviously make this stuff. We're at the world of asphalt. We could walk around and see a lot of that. But who's going to stand behind you, and especially in the States, parts availability, service availability. When stuff happens, these are very, very violent machines. They are crushing rocks all day long. When stuff inevitably happens, how fast can you talk to somebody? How fast can you get that support? How fast can you get back up and running and get that uptime? If you got a whole crew of guys, this machine needs to be running for you, no matter what happens to it. So how fast can you talk to somebody? Screen Machine, we do all of our own engineering in-house. You can come and talk to our extensive product support team. If for some reason we're out dealing with all the customers or something like that, you can talk right to the engineer that actually designed this equipment. So it's a very neat company, and we've really built our business off of relationships, off of customer service, off of being there to assist our dealers and our end users at the end of the day to make sure they have that experience that we want them to have with these machines. If they're not running right, then the customer's not having a good day at the end of the day. So we want to make sure we can do that. Again, we stand behind our machines like we just said. We don't have extensive warranty claims, but we have a warranty claim process in place for a reason, just like everybody else. So we do a kind of a standard 1 year, 1,000 hour warranty on our machines, and a 2 year, 2,000 hour warranty on our different engine components. And again, we use name brand engine, Caterpillar, Yanmar, that we have very good support system. We have very good relationships with those dealers as well. So that we may you may need Caterpillar assistance or Yanmar assistance, and we work in conjunction with you guys to make sure you're getting that right assistance. We don't just throw it out at you and say, hey, go to Yanmar or go to Caterpillar. We have built those relationships so that we can kind of service you full round. And again, we stock huge inventory of parts. We're centrally located right outside of Columbus, Ohio. So when you need a bearing or a screen or a belt or whatever it may be, we have that in stock ready to go. So you can get back up and running, and you're good to go. These machines will run for as long as you want them to run, basically. So people are always refurbishing them, stuff like that. And we do a great job with helping out our customers to make sure that experience for them is as painless as possible whenever they're needing to order parts or needing product support or any of that stuff. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about our company.
Perfect, Mike. Thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time to go through your product line with us and kind of specifying specifically some of the different products that we're actually bringing in and are arriving right now on the ground into our South Carolina, Georgia markets. Really appreciate you going over Screen Machine as a company. We're really excited to be partnered with you, and we're looking forward to a great future ahead. So thank you for taking the time, and we'll keep walking around the show and talking to some of our people. Thank you. We appreciate it.